Hi folks, Smudge here. Well, let me tell you what's going to happen on August 27th at 9 p.m. My peoples have got another wonderful show lined up for you with a little bit smaller channel. The name of that channel is Angela&Charlie PracticalModernHomestead, and they hail from somewhere out in the Pacific Northwest. So let me read the description on their YouTube About page. Join us on our journey of self-sustaining lifestyle in the Pacific Northwest. We are practical and modern, homesteading our property and practicing traditional ways. We grow a garden, process and preserve what we grow. We raise chickens, pigs, and cows. We love fishing, crabbing, shrimping, and gathering seafood locally. We have a passion for cooking delicious, healthy food, most of which we grow ourselves. Charlie is now retired, and I still work 6 days a week as a real estate broker. We are young at heart and have plenty of knowledge, experience, and encouragement we are happy to share. We have the ability to be off-grid, but choose not to be unless the need arises. I'm also working toward retirement, but not quite there. We like to laugh along the way, mostly at our own silliness. After all, life should be fun. So, without waiting much longer, let me introduce them and show you a couple clips. So Angela, tell us a little bit about what you grow and what you get out of your garden.
We actually do grow 85% of our own food. We made a list this year of just the items we grew in our garden. There were 53 different types of food that we produced in our garden.
So I think we'll have Charlie give us a real quick lesson in shucking oysters.
I'm ready to show you how he does that. Okay, so Charlie's going to explain to you how he does the oyster shucking.
Oyster shucking 101. Find you an oyster. And every oyster kind of has its sweet spot. Get kind of good at it after a while, but you see right there, we want different color changes. Wedge your knife in there like that, and pry it open a little bit. You can see the muscle in there. And you cut the muscle away from the shell, and there's your oyster.
Yummy.
You want to try to keep them clean as you can without getting sand in there.
One last quick question. So, Angela and Charlie, what was your reaction when you found out you were going to be on Monday Night Live?
But now they can hear you.
But now they can hear me. They need to be able to read lips. All you have to do is get that thing out of the way so I can see what's going on. Thank you. Welcome back to Ohio. Another week of interesting conversation and phone calls. Never know when we may get an order for a possum pizza. Oh yeah. Hey, Stringfield Ridge, how you doing? Let's get on with the show.
Get on with the show.
Get on with the show. I thought we were going to have a 2-year-old tonight, so he's staying home until after my doctor's appointment tomorrow. Can you imagine Anthony here in this mix?
So it's time to let him out of the green room?
Time to let him out of the green room.
Okay, well here they are. Charlie and Angela. Good evening. And I'm just making sure everybody can hear you, and they should be able to at this point. So, you're out in the cold Pacific Northwest. Or is it?
Yeah,
is
it's not
it?
cold yet. It was jacket weather yesterday, but the sun came out today. It's cool at night, and it's really super nice during the day, right around 75 in the day, and down in the 50s at night right now.
It was down in the 40s 2 nights ago. So
Wow.
it's starting to cool off.
Yeah, it's starting to be weather where I'm going to have to be bringing my plants in quite soon.
So I've never been out that far. The area that you in is it hilly? I know they have mountains out there.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
So
we got a lot of mountains. Mount Rainier is probably the closest one to us. We get a view of it here, not too far from the house. It's probably 40 miles from the way the crow flies to Mount Rainier from our place. Maybe 50.
well,
It's
Charlie,
15,000 feet.
Charlie, I have to tell you that I was fascinated with the clip of you doing the oysters and,
Wow.
and the clams.
I thought those were rocks. My goodness.
I mean, we've never seen anything like that around here, for sure. And
Have you ever oysters? You must like oysters, huh? Do you like oysters?
No.
I don't know that I've ever had an oyster,
Oh,
No, thank you.
but I have a good friend that is a good shucker, according to what he tells me. So, but no, I was watching that and I was thinking, man, there's just absolutely nothing like that around here, and I was kind of impressed. You know, the digging for the clams, and you mentioned 2 or 3 different types of clams. Plus, I saw some sort of little crabby things running around.
We don't eat those. They're too little yet.
Oh yeah, you couldn't even get an appetizer out of those things.
But were those what they call soft shell crabs, or?
Gosh, I don't even know. They're just, little crabs that are on the beach, and they may grow up to be something, but we usually are so involved in getting our oysters and our steamer clams that we don't pay much attention to them. I just happened to notice them when I shot the video, and so I thought I would zoom in on them and show some of the wildlife. But we do get Dungeness crab out of the canal, though. We go for that several times a year.
that's probably what they were. They were baby Dungeness or baby rock crabs. And they just stay on the beach where they're safe, and then when they get bigger, they migrate out.
So you have to have like a regular fishing license to get this, or is there a special license to harvest?
It's like a $10 add-on on your fishing license to get the shellfish license portion of it.
Okay.
In Washington.
And trust me, we get our money's worth out of our fishing licenses every year. We probably get about $1,000 worth of seafood each year from our $130 we spend on our fishing licenses for the year.
So, aside from the oysters, are the beaches always like that where you go? I mean, are they so populated?
That is actually a private beach. Charlie's family owns a cabin in that community, and the homeowners association actually seeded the beach with certain types of oysters and certain types of clams, so they can be harvested.
Well, that was nice of them to do that.
Yeah. They keep reseeding it over the years. They put some other types of clams in there this year, and there's probably 10 or 20 acres of oyster beds. When the tide goes out, it's like a big flat right there, and it's solid oysters in there.
Wow.
So what type of fish do you catch up where you are?
There's a pretty good run of salmon in there, the Chinook, which we call kings. There's 80,000 who come back through there every year.
I love salmon.
There's also silvers. They come in there,
and pinks.
There's pinks in there, and there's chum salmon in there.
Oh, jeez.
There's a lot of seafood in that area.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I could live off of that stuff. I'd have no problem.
Well, that's a little bit different type of homesteading, where that's foraging, I guess, or would they call it watering?
Could learn something new. I don't know.
I was out fishing today. So, and you have quite the garden. Tell us about your garden.
Well, the garden is about a little over, probably about a third of an acre. And Charlie actually today and yesterday was looking at making it about a half an acre by itself for next year. Last year we grew 53 different varieties of foods and fruit and vegetables. This year there's even more and we haven't counted quite yet. You know, what kind of things are you growing in the garden?
I'm adding a few things this year. Grapes, I'm putting in a pretty big selection of grapes. The guy from New Zealand gave me a bunch of starts. So
oh, cool.
Then I'm going to probably make some of my own wine out of those grapes.
Yep, there's some champagne grapes in there too for me. I like champagne.
So if you just planted those this year, do you expect to be able to start harvesting in what, 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah, about that, 2 to 3 years, depending on weather, obviously.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have Concord grapes.
I got about 50 to 75 cuttings that I need to plant out right now.
Wow.
Yeah, they're about 2 or 3 feet tall.
Well, Angela, you have a nephew on here that said hi.
Oh, hey, Ed. How's it going?
Exactly who it is. And Grizz270 wants to know if you like Chinese chicken. Have you ever met Grizz?
Chicken, or is that a Chinese variety of a chicken?
Have you ever? Grizz is also Grizz is in Oregon.
Oh, cool.
His sense of humor can be a tad.
Grizz has a.
I love him dearly.
But his sense of humor has to be appreciated. Because his Chinese chicken usually comes with a tail on it and a cat head on it. And that's his Chinese chicken.
Yeah, his dog is named Stir Fry. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dog's named Stir Fry.
Dog's named Stir Fry.
Oh.
So, also understand you do some hunting, Charlie.
Yeah. Deer, there's a lot of deer around here. They come through here. I seen a 4 or 5 point twice already in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, right here on the property.
So another month or so, I'll be really looking for him when the season opens.
Is there elk and other large game out there where you're at?
Yeah, there's elk too. My neighbors got elk coming right in their yard. They feeding them apples over there, so they came over and got some of our apples because the elk ate all their apples. So they come and got some of ours to feed the elk. So maybe I'll go visit the neighbors more often now.
So where you live are you spread way out from your neighbors, or are you are they a mile away? Are they half mile? Are they next?
They're across the 30 acres, so they're probably 600 yards.
Okay.
This is a family homestead, though. So Charlie's brother probably lives about 150 feet from the one end of our house, and he and his lady, and his mom lives across the field, and Charlie's son lives across the field too. So, we've got the benefit of having the family here.
Right.
Especially if you take off for a couple of days and, go do something fun. There's, backup to help with, making sure the animals are fine.
Sure. So, Charlie, you say this is an old family property. How long has it been in your family?
Since 72 when they bought it. They paid $365 an acre for it back then.
Oh, Lord.
And my grandpa at the time thought my dad paid way too much.
I can understand that. I remember my dad telling me if you have to pay more than $100 an acre, it's too much. I wish.
Their taxes on it. The taxes on it now are more than the original payments were when they bought it.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Grizz wants to know if it's blacktail or whitetail deer.
They're blacktail out here, but
there's some whitetail too.
They're whitetails that you get to the other side of the mountain range, then they are whitetails.
You think that's from either additional sun or lack of sun?
Makes them black.
White, yeah.
It's so rainy over here, they're probably black.
So you get a lot of rain where you're at?
Oh, yeah, in the wintertime.
We're about 2 hours south, directly south of Seattle. So just think Seattle, drizzly, rain, gray winters. But this is the land of plenty, though. Everything grows here. You can pretty much find anything in nature that you'd want to eat.
Yeah, everything's green.
Except in the summer.
So in addition to your garden, you also do some preserving.
Oh, yeah. We ferment. We can. We've been canning fools here lately.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
all
you
we've been
see
doing.
the
We've got
pictures of
so
all the
many
stuff.
tomatoes.
Yeah, all the
He
stuff that
brings
she's
the
been
tomatoes
canning.
in by the wheelbarrow full every 3 days.
I got this thing for tomatoes. I don't know why I plant so many tomatoes every year, but this year I planted 65 tomato plants.
Now, do you specialize in just one or two varieties, or do you have 65 different types?
There are probably 5 to 10 different types, but I've changed over the years. I've got a few varieties that are old standbys, but I always try to change them up a little bit.
And I like the heirloom varieties because we can save the seeds and plant them again. And we also do dehydrating, and Charlie makes his own cheese, and he's actually working on some wine right now. He's preserving fruit by making wine out of it, which should be really interesting.
I guess. Yeah. So you have chickens, and you have pigs.
Well, they're in the freezer now. Our pigs are.
Okay, you had pigs, and you and you have cattle. Cows.
They have cows.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have like goats or any other?
No, I'm not quite ready for goats yet. We had goats when we were kids, and I can still remember how hard they were to keep in the fence. I don't want to build any more fence right now.
And, goats have so many things that I don't understand as far as their nutritional needs and worms and so many, all my friends and my Facebook friends who have goats. I mean, it's complicated. Our stuff is pretty much simple in comparison.
The goats will eat anything, so.
Goldshaw Farm is asking how many cattle do you have, and are they grass-fed or grain-fed?
We have 2 heifers, and we've just 2 days ago had Doug the Bull come for a visit, so soon there'll be heifers no more. They are grass-fed for the most part, but every once in a while we'll give them a little sweet treat of grain, as just a treat, but mostly we treat them with apples.
They're pretty spoiled.
Now, I saw on one of your videos that you, for your now freezer camped pigs, you built some sort of a tractor. So is that like modeled, in your opinion, after one of the
chicken
tractors, or only larger? Or?
No, we had one like that when we were younger that we towed around, but it's all falling apart, so I built a bigger, better one.
His father built the one when he was a kid.
Yeah.
That was like that. Yeah.
Pretty much same thing, but I put the automatic feeder in it and the automatic waterer in there and made it quite a bit bigger, so I didn't have to move it. And then I built mine a lot sturdier. I bolted everything together, so it'll last for a long time.
Yeah, it looked pretty sturdy. You have to say that, yeah.
Well, and I know Angela said in one of the videos that you apparently built all your outbuildings. And it looked like there were a number of them.
Yeah. Some of them, when I built in the 80s, I was just kind of slammed them together. I'm getting to be a little bit better carpenter now than I used to be. I think.
You did pretty good.
Seems like every time I get a 2x4, I got to build something with it.
So, and I'm kind of curious because this has been a hot topic with a lot of the homesteading community over the past few months here anyway, maybe even longer. The area in which you live, as far as rules and regulations, do you have the freedom to just go build all these buildings, or in today's life, do you have to go pay the tax man down there and get all these permits and special? They want to know where you go poop and all that kind of stuff, or?
The county does require all of that type of thing for buildings in this county, yes.
Okay.
The county that we're in is not as bad as a lot of the other counties. The county north of us, Pierce County, is real bad. So it's kind of migrating this way. But technically, I could build.
That makes it temporary.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything that you're going to put wiring in has to have a permit. But we're far enough off the road out here that that's just kind of the way we do things here.
Yeah, we own dusty cars because of the long gravel driveway.
I hear you on that one.
Yeah.
Well, we experienced some of those long gravel roads a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, the dark green truck ended up being gray by the time we found pavement again.
So.
Well, dear, it's 9:20.
Yes.
Why don't we do our first trivia question?
Okay.
And I know Jim's going to put in a number. Oh, trust me.
Trust you?
Yeah.
Okay.
That'll be coming up
all right,
soon.
Let's get this trivia thing fired up here.
Here we go. You didn't disappoint.
Okay, for those of you that might be new, and for those old timers, just a very quick reminder. Every week we do a couple of trivia questions where you can be a winner. Then anytime you have any type of thing like this, you have to have some sort of rules. Ours are very simple, and they are as follows. You can only win once every 4 weeks. You must be the first person to answer the question correctly in the chat window as it is received and recorded on the stream here. That stream is embedded in the screen so everybody can see it. Your chat window may be in a different order, and probably is. If you are the winner, we ask you send us an email with your mailing address, and to do that in a prompt manner to twofamilyhomestead@gmail.com, and we will send you a $2 bill. So having gone through all this, and the chat's rolling.
That's because they're all putting numbers in.
Numbers? What makes them think numbers is going to be an answer?
You know, Jim does 42 and Pancake Man does pancake.
Right.
And Andy says the square root of pi. It's P-I, Andy, not P-I-E.
Okay. It is a number is not the answer. I can tell you that. So let me bring this across. First question. What are the names of the 2 pigs that are now in the freezer camp? What are the names of the 2 pigs that are now in the freezer camp, besides cold?
Someone needs to hum the Jeopardy theme. There's 2 pigs.
Oh.
Pat Skelton.
Pat Skelton got it.
Yep, sure did. Pat, right on. And I know you haven't won.
Okay,
So
Pat.
you didn't have to look.
If you would, please send us an email to twofamilyhomestead@gmail.com.
Congrats.
Congratulations on your on your win.
I'll get those printed up tomorrow. Oh, I mean, I'll get mailed tomorrow, maybe.
Okay.
The Muffin Man has come. Oh, okay.
Nope. I think we'll take the tractor video. That's what we saw.
All right, and we'll open up the phone line here. If you feel so inclined, you can call us on your nickel. No reverse charges accepted. And and you can talk with our guests yourself.
If that was the case, they'd be calling from behind the bars, because that's where reverse charges come from.
I don't even know if you can still do that. I don't have any idea.
No, probably. It's probably the only way they can do it.
So, all right. So anyway,
Tigger, what do you like to know?
Our guests this evening, Angela and Charlie, Practical Modern Homestead is their channel name, all one word. So, if you got any questions for them, located out in the Pacific Northwest, they do things a little bit differently out there because they have the availability to do that with their location. A lot of us here in the central parts of the states.
Brenda wants to know if they have opossum.
If they have what?
Possum.
I don't know. Do you guys have possum out there?
Yep. Yeah, we have lots of possums.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, see, they can make that same stew we can make here.
No, she's the one who orders possum pizza, remember? That was your first phone call.
I haven't one yet.
Charlie, do you also trap out there, or do you hunt?
Trapping's illegal. Any body grip traps are illegal in Washington now.
Yeah.
They did that about 10 years ago.
Okay.
Technically, I can't even trap a mole with the body grip trap.
Okay. And I don't know enough about trapping, so I'm assuming a leg trap would be considered a body grip. Is that?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you just have a stick of dynamite that when they bite into it blows them up, you're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We got a call coming in here.
After they had a 12 gauge shotgun mole trap, it worked pretty good.
Hello, this is Daryl. Who's calling, please?
Hey, Daryl, you know who this is. Hi, Cher. Hi, Charlie and Angela. I haven't subscribed to your channel yet. I should have done it when I seen Daryl and Cher's preview deal. And I've been waiting for Country Girl to get on in here to start putting the channel link in there so I can get there. But I will subscribe. Anyway, I'm just your neighbor. I'm way south of you. And about them Chinese chickens, don't run them on out. They're great for hunting, and they are great for improving your shooting skills. You know, that's why they have 9 lives. You know, so anyway. Anyway, Charlie, what I wanted to ask you about is, you know, we have the white-tailed deer here, and I'm west of the Cascades. I'm not too far from Albany and Eugene. You know, I'm east of Albany and Eugene, but I'm on the west side of the Cascade Range. We still have a little bit of white-tailed deer here. You don't have any white-tailed deer at all in your area?
No, not at all in this area. You're down there where it's more flat and dry, though, right?
Pardon?
It's more flat and dry down where you're at, right? Than up here.
Oh no. Well, down below it is. I am in the Cascade Mountain Range. I'm up in the mountains. You know, and it is mainly blacktail here, and that's what we have for our general hunt season. Whitetail are very limited. You have to have a draw tag to hunt them here. You know, so they're not very abundant here.
If we go up in the mountains up here, there are places on this side, the west side of the mountains, where the whitetails and blacktails will cohabitate, but not where we're at.
Okay, and you don't get much elk there? I mean, you said your neighbors did, but I mean, you can't ever attract them on your property or anything, or?
We had one elk come through here about 4 or 5 years ago, but it was like a big one, the big 7-point. The neighbors on the other side of us seen it come right through our place, but I have never seen one on our 30 acres. I've seen them around it, but I've never seen one on ours.
But we don't spend a lot of time in the backwoods either. So maybe they go back there and we just don't see them going by. But they do frequent the Charlie's family cabin because we find evidence of them all the time up there.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, if you want to attract them on your place, if you got any maple trees that you want to get rid of, you cut the maple trees on down and then leave the stump, and the shoots that they sprout off, the elk will love feeding on that when they're nice tender sprouts. You develop that, you'll have elk.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good eating. Anyway, I'm going to get out the phone. That chicken tractor deal setup that your dad made that you've rebuilt or whatever made better. I'm looking forward to checking that video on out. Anyway,
Yeah,
we'll catch y'all later.
Thank you
All right,
for
nice
calling,
to
Grizz.
Grizz, thanks for calling.
Yep.
Take care now.
Tigger Bouncing is asking, is there a difference in the black-tail and white-tail deer meat?
I've never eaten a whitetail, so I don't know.
And I never knew there was a black-tail.
I don't think there's enough difference to really notice.
Oh, okay.
But I'll tell you who we might be able to find out from here is that Stacy Lynn Harris.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So when we see her coming up here in October, we could ask her that if you can remember to do that.
Oh, that's October. This is August.
Yeah.
And I'm supposed to remember. Gotcha.
I think a lot of this deer is how you prepare it after you kill it. If you take care of it, cool it down, that's going to make a huge difference.
And the hanging.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. Yeah. We had a guest on a few weeks ago that has authored some wild animal or wild game cookbooks. Stacy Lynn Harris, and she's going to be a speaker at the upcoming Homesteaders of America conference in October in Virginia. So, but we had her on. It's probably been a month or so ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been about a month ago, but she has written some books, had a couple bestsellers on Amazon. So, I figure she would be the one to ask. But I totally agree with how you handle the meat immediately after the harvest. Harvest? Is that what you would call it? After you kill the thing.
I suppose it would be your harvest meat. Wouldn't that be, Angela? Is that proper? Would it be harvesting the meat?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think the first thing Charlie would probably do is gut it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want it to cool off.
Yeah.
Fast. Quickly as possible.
Then you hang it wide open so it cools off and upside down there so that everything just kind of rolls out. And okay, we have to go to other subjects. I'm getting eyeballed here. You can tell somebody is not a hunter in here.
Nope.
I'm not. I make too much noise when I walk in the woods, so I stay home. But I'll cook it once we've got.
I have a mounted head of a nice deer that I got many years ago, and Sherry named it John, so I have John Deere.
I was scared to death of that thing.
And when we moved into this house, about 6 years ago, it was one of the last things to come over, and it remains in the trailer to this day.
Yeah,
it has not
we
appeared in the house.
We bought an enclosed trailer to put some of our stuff in to move over, and the last thing to come after we packed everything in it was this enclosed trailer, and it's parked on the side and still 99.9% full. Has not been emptied in 6 years.
And John Deere has never made it in the house.
John stays in there. He won't let me give it away or sell it.
And she won't let it come in the house, so I don't know. We're at a standstill here.
Time to make some chickpea.
So, what are your? Do you have? All right, Charlie, you just retired this year.
Yeah.
So now you have big plans to actually start going to work.
Just working on the homestead. And
that's what I mean. I mean that's full time.
It's a lot of work. Yeah.
So do you have any plans? Well, when I retire, I'll have time to do this and do that. I mean, you got any big projects coming up that you kind of have in mind? You've been squirreling away.
Running fence so the cows can be on more of the land is one thing he's working on, and he's expanding the garden. But what else you got planned?
I got so many projects, but they're some of them are kind of making it farther up the priority list. So
I hope my remodeled kitchen and bathroom are on that list.
There's always that.
She winked at me. Did you see that?
Yeah.
A feeling it wasn't to you, dear.
I'm expanding the garden right now, and we're putting in a big grape trellis. I'm going to have a pretty good sized vineyard. I'll probably have 100 different grapes when I'm done. So that's going to take me a couple weeks.
Yeah.
We just planted 5 fig trees out yesterday. They've got quite a figs on them, so we're going to have a pretty good orchard right here to help attract those deer.
Okay, in doing your fencing, your building of grape arbors and things like this, is this done with wood harvested off of your property, where you go out and cut it down and perhaps mill it? I don't know if you have a sawmill or not, or
my cousin's got a sawmill, so anything I need sawmilled, I just take over there. So I've got a big stack of rough cut lumber. When he was in here last year, I had over 200 2x6 milled and 120 2x4s milled and a bunch of 4x6, and out of some trees that had to come down because of the wind.
And they were topped.
Well, Charlie, that's absolutely the best way to do it. You get all the benefits of the sawmill without having the headache of maintaining it.
Yeah. He actually told me I could run his mill for him in the summer, because he's cutting hay in the summer. He said he'd bring the mill over and just let me run it whenever I wanted to. I just haven't had the time this summer.
So out of the 30 acres of your property, how much of that would you say is woods?
Oh, over 20.
Over 20, so it's predominantly wooded area, then a little bit of pasture land for your cows and your garden stuff. Cool.
They're big trees too. They're big fir trees.
If you check out some of our videos, oftentimes you'll see me standing on it's actually the back porch, but we use it as the front porch. And you'll see the woods behind the house. And there's actually one video I did where I'm just feeding all the pets in the morning, back when Charlie was working, and I used to have to do that on the days that he worked. And you can see that the trees were just swinging in the wind. Mm-hmm. And
I saw that video.
Quite a bit. It's just like 20 feet off our back door, really.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Of course, seeing it in the video, perspective is difficult. I don't know if you can appreciate that or not, but I think we got a real rude awakening of perspective when we visited Doug and Stacy's place. I mean, their place looks nice in their videos, but in person,
yeah, it's amazing.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. Rosanna's asking, did I see you're from Olympia?
About an hour south of Olympia, but we're not anywhere near. We're not in the city. We're out in the boonies.
Boonies can be good.
Boonies is good.
Yeah.
Yep.
So when you were employed, that just doesn't sound good. Back when you were working, in the working class, doing what everybody has to do to survive.
Punch the clock.
Punching the clock. How far of a commute did you have to go to work?
I could make it there in about 47 minutes, change my clothes, and hit the time clock, be on time.
Okay, so about an hour drive, might as well say.
Yeah.
Each way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had it down to a science after 28 years of working for the same company.
Well, I certainly hope that they treated you right.
Yeah, it was all right.
Good. That's an important thing.
Yeah, Charlie was the shop steward for the union and his branch of the plant. So he would advocate for the workers if there became a dispute or something that they needed to straighten out.
Mm-hmm. Okay, folks, and for those of you in the chat, I just want to remind you the phone number is up on the screen if you'd like to call in and ask Charlie or Angela a question directly. I understand they're giving dancing lessons here starting next week. They're gathering customers.
I had Charlie jump to get him to dance on camera.
That's what that was.
Yep. You were having fun, though.
You gave away my secret. We were at the beach, though, so
yeah, on vacation.
Was worth dancing for right there.
So, all right. Just glancing back through here. Any other questions come through in the chat?
No, I was trying to get a...
Somebody answer a Googler?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where you're from. Yes.
Okay.
Hope this works. Our homestead, what video were you talking about? Because I have your website, and I can look up the video for you and post it here if you'd like.
You mean as far as the woods were concerned?
The pig tractor one shows the woods.
Well, yeah, and the pig tractor, we actually walked down into the woods. The pig tractor, the very first one, we walked down into the woods to take down a couple of trees, and I actually had the camera looking straight up into the tops of the trees, and we're like tiny little ant people compared to these trees. They're so tall.
So I have to ask, who's the avid YouTuber there?
I'm the one that does all the camera work. I'm the one that does all the editing. Charlie is not a computer, camera, cell phone person at all. He will literally run away if I try to hand him any kind of computerized device.
I'll go outside.
So this was all your idea to become a YouTuber, and I guess what my bottom line question is, what inspired you to share on YouTube?
Really, between the two of us, we have such a wealth of knowledge that I really feel should not be forgotten and should be shared with not only the younger generation, but to those other people who would like to learn these skills. And, you know, my daughter was so busy with college, and she would say, "Oh, Mom, how do you make that recipe?" Or my son would say, "How do you make that?" And so I did a couple of videos on me cooking a few things, and I thought, well, you know, I'm obviously not going to be here forever. And I kind of felt like, well, this is also a way to, you know, let my kids someday, hopefully a long time from now, still hang out with their mom once I'm gone. And, you know, maybe they might not be so interested now in some of the things that I do, but they might be later on. Sure. And so might many other folks. I know my nephew Ed came up and visited us here on the homestead. And he had a fantastic time while he was here. And he was pretty amazed with some of the stuff we do in our garden. And, you know, he grew up in Philly, in the city. It's something he'd never experienced before. And so there's so many people who are growing up in such a, you know, a high-density city environment. I was raised in Fort Lauderdale, and my mom had been raised on a farm in Minnesota. But at least I had the benefit of going to the farm in the summertime. to visit my grandparents, and it was just always a part of me. I always missed it so much when I went home, and so I guess I just wanted to share that with folks in case they're interested.
Well,
and I always looked teaching, and I was looking for creative.
I was going to get into that just a little bit. I mean, it seems pretty obvious that Charlie, being a family homestead, probably more than likely grew up there, but you're more of a transplant.
Yes.
I mean, you came from the other side of the country.
I actually drove all the way across the country just to meet my guy.
It's about as far away as she could have been from us, because she was clean down at Fort Lauderdale, and we're clean up here in the Northwest, so it's diagonally across the United States.
Yeah, we didn't know each other before I came here. I met him about a year and a half after I got here.
Okay. So you didn't go up there for him. He was just a byproduct.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
and the fit.
I fell in love with the trees when I visited here the first time. Just so many trees, and it's so beautiful, and the nature and all the lakes and the streams and the mountains, and just you have everything here you could imagine needing. And I just fell in love with the whole landscape and nature here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, watching your videos, the land, your property is just beautiful.
And I think Ed is the one that had visited you. He is very welcome to call in. I see he's in the chat here, so he's welcome to call in and put you on the spot if he wants to do so.
There you go, Ed. You got an open invitation.
So just kind of wanted to get that out. I see Oh How Happy Gardener is in the channel. Good evening to you.
I like that name.
Okay.
I don't know why I can't find it though.
So the trees that you have there are primarily fir trees. Is that correct? Douglas fir, I think. Okay.
Doug fir. There's a few maples and a few oaks. No alder trees, but oaks and maples and fir, but mostly fir.
Well, those fir trees are generally harvested for what?
Lumber.
Paper.
Okay,
well,
so
they use the fir trees for lumber, and the hardwood trees usually go to pulp and make paper.
Okay.
Our trees were actually getting too big for a lot of the mills. A lot of the mills don't like the big trees. They won't export the big trees like this to get top dollar out of them because they're so big. They like a smaller tree with thinner bark on them than what these trees have, a real thick bark. They don't want to ship that bark all the way to China, you know. So
okay. So is this so this is pretty much like where a lot of where the 2x4s and 2x6s, 2x8s and things like that people buy in the big box stores, this is the byproduct of those trees.
Yeah.
Okay.
We actually live bordering Weyerhaeuser property. You've probably heard of Weyerhaeuser. They're a huge timber company. They have probably close to 1 million acres of trees, and their main original camp where it all started at is just through the woods from our place, quarter mile.
Oh, okay.
It was an old logging camp, 100 years ago, before anything else was ever around here. Back when they were using donkeys and stuff to haul logs.
So I would guess in the time that you've been there, you've seen a lot of things change over the years as far as the way they handle the logging and the way they do all this stuff.
Yeah, they pretty much cut down most of the trees out of Vail. They quit logging out of Vail here for 10 or 20 years. They were logging out of some of their other operations, but now they're back to logging out of Vail. They replant all their trees, and they can grow like a Weyerhaeuser super tree in probably 30 years. You know, they just grow so fast, but that wood is kind of soft. They grow so fast. So a lot of the 2x4s you buy in the store, they're a softer wood. These trees out here, the wood's real hard. It's really good, makes really good lumber. It's really good hard. But my grandfather actually retired from Weyerhaeuser as a tree faller. So he's one of them guys that carried around a chainsaw for 25 years and cut down all these trees.
Wow.
You know, what a tough job. He survived all those years in the woods.
Well, a lot of them don't survive.
A lot of them don't survive. It's a tough way to go, walking up and down them hillsides, carrying them old heavy saws. You know, they weren't like the saws that we have nowadays.
Oh, not at all.
With the old McCulloughs when they came out, them heavy old things. And yep.
McCullough's and what another big one was it Bradley? David Bradley? Didn't they have a big chainsaw?
Could be. Yeah, they were dragging the drag saws back around then to buck the logs in half. They were like on a big skid, and a couple guys would have to drag them drag saws around. You know, they're probably 300 or 400 pounds, and then they'd kind of roll the log over it to cut them in half. But yeah, it was a tough living. But yeah, he cut down trees his whole life out here.
Very interesting. Well, I see we have BC Truck in the room here.
Mm-hmm. And Jennifer Johnson.
Jennifer Johnson.
Do you remember who Jennifer is?
Yeah, that's Danny's
That's right.
daughter.
Yep. What kind of dog do they have? Angela, tell them what kind of dogs you have.
We have a lab that Charlie rescued from the pound. His name is Tucker, and he's just an amazing, exceptional dog. And then we also have a standard poodle who's chocolate brown, and he just turned 3 years old, so he's young, puppy, precocious, and springboard, jump around like a tiger.
Why don't we go ahead and do our second?
All right, yeah, let's go ahead and get the second question here on the trivia. So if you guys just want to grab a drink of water or something, we'll get this queued up here.
I think I will.
Okay, very quick on the rules again. You can only win once every 4 weeks. Must be the first person to answer the question correctly in the chat window as is received and recorded on the stream here. That stream is embedded in the screen for everybody to see. Your chat window may be in a different order and probably is. If you are the winner, we ask you send us an email with your mailing address within 48 hours and you will be receiving in return mail a $2 bill. So question number 2. Is everybody ready?
Must be. Jim already put 42.
What is Angela's day job? What is Angela's day job?
As the room gets quiet.
Got very quiet.
Mm-hmm.
What's that? We should be talking right now.
Oh, there you go. Carl has it.
Carl Bohm. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Carl Bohm.
Ed was second.
Yeah.
Buster.
I'm surprised somebody got that.
Yeah, Charlie's mom was the bus driver.
Why don't we, since it's 9:53, why don't we go on, just do the other two?
Okay. So we have 2 more questions. We have a little bit of a couple little extra prizes here that are garden planners.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, the rules are the same, so I won't have to bring the rule page back up. But these are a bonus trivia thing. It's from Clyde's Garden Planner. It's a very nice tool that you can use. It's almost like a slide rule chart to tell you when to plant different things in your garden, what companion plants are. You can go to their website and read all about it. But he has been so kind as to donate a couple of those. So we have, we're going to get 2 different winners on this. So if everybody's ready for the first question on this one, let me get it brought over. Question for the Garden Planner trivia. What was the date of the first Monday night live show that Two Family Homestead did? And nobody's going to guess this. They're going to have to go look.
They're all going to bring up a new tab to go see what's going on.
You're going to have to go look. We've been doing this now for well over a year, so I can tell you that.
Nope. But close.
Our first Monday night live show that we did. This was over a year ago.
October 37th. BC. What world do you live in?
That was my birthday.
October 37th? 1902. Brenda, paybacks. I'll see you in October, remember?
There we go. City Girl. City Girl. May 8th, 2017 was our first show. And that was, do you remember who our guest was?
Am I supposed to?
Southern Ark.
That's right. So it was Southern Ark.
Yep. Nina was our first guest, Southern Ark Homestead. And our second guest was Pratt Family Homestead, where Jen couldn't make it and Mike did the whole thing.
Yeah. We need to have them back on. Yeah.
So, all right.
Time is slow in Louisiana. That's no excuse, BC.
And we'll get, so you'll be getting that planner directly from Clyde?
Yeah. City Girl, you need to send me your name and your address. I will forward that on to Clyde. He is the one that will be sending you the garden guide.
And we have one more of those to give away, so let's just get it done, and then we're done with the giveaways.
Keep that tab open.
The next question is, what channel will be our guest next week on September the 3rd?
You probably know that one.
What channel will be our guest?
Too. But I'm not allowed to win when I'm a guest, so.
Yes, you can.
Oh, can I?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, just can't guess your own question.
Oh, okay.
Hey, 180 degree from average, welcome. Yeah, if you know who it is.
Who is going to be our
Exactly. Stringfield Ridge Farm got it.
Yep, okay.
Teresa.
All right.
I don't know if I have your address or not. So
send us an email with your address, please.
Your name and address.
Just makes it easier for us, even if we have it. It just makes it much, much easier. Okay, let me get this back over. All right. So, just to repeat, our guest this evening, all the way from
Washington,
Pacific Northwest, in the hills somewhere.
Sleepy in Seattle, that state.
Sleeping in Seattle. Angela and Charlie, Practical Modern Homestead. And
they have some great videos.
They have some great videos. By all means, check them out. Go look through their stuff, and if you see what you like, subscribe.
So you're not alone now, Grizz. You have to behave.
BC Truck says that his son is a state cop in Washington.
Hope I don't run into him.
Do I hear somebody out on the front porch? I sure do. Somebody's trying to come into our house.
All right, I guess.
I don't want to let you in. Oh. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Come on.
Bring your suitcase.
Oh, well, I guess we have some company coming in.
Hi.
Hello.
Sorry.
Was he coming for the night?
Yeah, I text you.
Hey, what's going on? I don't read
I texted you a long time ago.
Oh.
Okay, so we have some company coming in, and
You want to sit on my lap and talk to the peoples?
You want to see the people?
Look. You can talk to the peoples. Come here. You could. No?
he's being shy, and that's
You want
okay.
to show them your suitcase?
And that's okay. So we're going to have our grandson the rest of the week here. So this will be fun.
Yeah, Papa's bed. Is that where you're staying?
All right. So
Yeah, that's somebody were sleeping in Seattle.
No.
all right. We apologize for the little interruption here, but getting back to Angela and Charlie. So, what is your most favorite thing to grow in the garden? Beside, I know Charlie says tomatoes, but what is yours, Angela?
Well, I love growing and planting anything. But, this year we, did a few extra things. And one of the things that we did this year that I'm really super excited about is we actually planted wheat in just a few places following the pig tractor. And we have the wheats drying right now, and we're going to grind our own wheat and see if we can't make a loaf or two of bread out of it. And we're thinking about starting to do that every year, because the wheat that, the flour you buy in the store has been treated and blasted with who knows what by the time it gets to you. And I've been doing quite a bit of reading, and that's what's making us chubby. We've been on a diet so we can actually eat bread without gaining all the weight if we're not processing all the wheat, other than just drying it to a certain point and then grinding it ourselves. So
Okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited about that. But I love growing all the herbs, and I love flowers and everything. We pretty much grow everything we eat. We don't buy vegetables anymore.
I'm liking the basil this year. We figured
yeah.
out how to keep basil alive this year, and we've had basil all year long this year because I just left it in the greenhouse. If you want to kill your basil, put it outside.
Oh no! See, mine's doing fine. I just make sure I just make sure I snip it when the flowers start. I got all of mine. I think I have 4 varieties. Yep.
We have 2 temperatures here: cold and rainy, or blasting hot and dry. It's just so extreme that the basil doesn't like that here.
Okay.
And we've had Mississippi weather, and since Jennifer and our siblings are in the channel, humidity is crazy. Yesterday and today.
Yeah, it's been very, very warm and humid.
Mm-hmm.
So
we have that really late, wet, cold spring, so it's hard to get stuff started out when it's that wet, cold. And then it just turns right into summer. It seems like it's really, really hot. We had quite a few days in the 90s, and it makes it hard to.
now do you do I'm going to call it traditional greenhouse methods for the most part, where you just start plants in the spring in the greenhouse and then transplant them outside? Or do you try to get in a garden year round because of the greenhouse and try to grow in the...
Yeah, usually I start my first seeds in the greenhouse late January, early February, because our summers are so short here. But last winter, Charlie actually hooked up some propane heaters in the big greenhouse. We have 3 greenhouses, so
I kept it heated all winter long.
Yeah.
It cost me quite a bit, but we have lemon, lime, and banana trees in there, and we had the fig trees in there too. So I wanted to keep those all alive. I heated it all winter long, but I'm not sure I'm going to do that this year.
Well, now they're more established, so we might not need to.
Well, and I noticed in the one video that I watched where she was talking about all the various outbuildings, that apparently you have some outbuilding there that is all set up now for aquaponics.
Yeah, that's one of our greenhouses. Charlie has the whole setup for aquaponics, but we just have not incorporated the fish into that at that point. It was like a project that we sort of fell into, that we had, all that, the aquaponics all set up, but we never did fill it with the fish and get the whole system. He had it with the water in there, and he was just basically putting seaweed fertilizer into that and feeding. He was growing tomatoes and peppers in that system last year, but we didn't even use that this year.
Well, I fell right into that because I was talking about this spa building you were talking about.
Oh, that one.
I built my father used to build swimming pools, so I built quite a few pools and spas and ponds and all the stuff, concrete stuff. So
yeah, so the jacuzzi, Charlie built a heart-shaped jacuzzi.
Cool.
And it's we have the big glass windows all around, so we can get into the jacuzzi in the middle of winter, and we have views of the forest from in there. And Charlie has a little bar in there too with a little mini fridge, and we have music, and I've got a nice picnic table in there.
Yeah, that was the aquaponics I was talking about.
Also using it for a drying room right now. I dry the garlic in there, dry the onions in there, and I got hazelnuts in there drying right now, so it's just a mess.
How about mushrooms? I know that I've seen a couple of folks that are out in the West where they do a lot of mushroom foraging. And I was just curious if you have that, if that's something you do in your particular neck of the woods or not.
This Washington State has many kinds of mushrooms, and it's pretty well known. Up in the Olympic Peninsula, there's a pretty good following of people that go up there just to pick mushrooms. We haven't actually picked too many up there, but I picked them around here, mostly the chanterelles and the morels around here. There's a lot of those around here, but the other types I'm not certain about, so I don't try to pick any other types.
Do you have any projects planned for your YouTube channel, Angela? I'm directing this to her since she's the computer guru there.
Yeah, we actually do. And because we have so much that's in the pipeline that I just haven't had time to edit yet, we are in the middle of doing a project on foraging your food off the homestead. We put out the clam and oysters video you saw last night. I published the razor clam video that we did at the beach. That was fun. We're going to be going shrimping and crabbing. So we're in the middle of that project. Plus, I'm going to do a whole bunch on,
Whoa, something
Loss of
happened.
sound.
Oh, they just totally froze. I'm still showing connection. Oh, and I'm still showing everything green here. However, it appears that they have frozen.
Really? So can anybody translate? I may send out another $2 bill. What? Oh, you got some fruit. It's not an apple. It's a nectarine.
A tree.
Yes, a tree.
Okay.
You want to sit on Nana's lap? Oh no, we're gonna go back in the kitchen and see what else Nana has to eat. There's a bucket of chips on the table. But yeah, feel free. There's enough of the fruit.
Okay, we are still live, but we have
to recover the web page for Skype.
Here we go.
There they are. I hear them.
all right, I hear them too. So we'll have them back on here shortly. We'll have them back on here
We're
shortly.
on our iPad. Our internet is terrible out here.
Yes.
Oh, we were doing absolutely fine until just that
I
little
was talking. Want to sit here? You can
headache
see
right
them?
there.
Can I have a bite? Okay.
And
I didn't get my kiss.
So as I was saying, we're going to be doing videos about Charlie, doing cheese making, and he has his own homemade smoker. He smokes pork. He smokes salmon.
Okay.
I've got a video I'm working on right now where we're canning our own apple cider and canning our own cranberry juice blends that I'm going to be putting out.
okay, Angela, I have no video feed from you. We have your audio, but no video.
Don't know how to correct that.
Try the little camera button.
Oh, this can be a
Does that
go.
work better?
There we go.
All right, now I just have to get it
Not get weird.
incorporated over
I guess
here.
we need to get cozy now.
Oh yeah, 180
that
degrees from Africa. That's what I said. Salmon. I'll move there just for the salmon.
Charlie is the smoked salmon whisperer.
Yeah, I got a pretty good recipe. That I got a couple different recipes. I got the basic one, and then I got the everything in it recipe.
All right, and Angela, if you would, can you turn your? Are you on the iPad now? Is that where you're on?
Yeah, and the camera's on the side. I couldn't get it to work on the laptop anymore.
Just see if you can turn your iPad 90 degrees. That works. Now it's pointing up a little higher. I got your foreheads in focus. There we go.
Look here.
Yeah, looks much better.
Is that better?
Brenda just posted.
Okay.
She wants to know when we're going to Washington. I didn't know we were going to Washington.
I didn't know either. All right, there we go. We got them back,
come
folks.
visit us. We have an RV you can stay in, an extra car you can drive around.
Oh, we have our own camper now, so I think that's why that came up.
I saw that, but I didn't know if you wanted to drive that far.
We got lots of food,
Why not?
plenty of food. We'll feed you well.
It would be an interesting trip, but I don't think that's going to be a possibility this year anyway.
Not this year.
But
we have
Hard to
some things in mind.
It's hard to leave the homestead when you have animals and crops to tend to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, my garden is pretty much fizzled out. Animals ate most of my bigger tomatoes. I don't have any squash left. They ate those. And have some cherry tomatoes and that Anthony and I are going to pick tomorrow. And
but we have some fat critters out there because they've been eating well.
Yeah, very healthy critters out there. Brenda, hot tub and salmon, she's in.
All right, and just so everybody knows, they've been on here now for just a little bit over an hour, and we don't want to keep them too awful long. So if you got some questions, please put them in there. I will
Oh, come here.
put the phone number back up.
What if it was
If somebody would like to call and ask a question or two, Ed, I think this is your cue. This is your opportunity. So, if anybody would like to call, phone number is up. It's your nickel, folks, and we will give you the floor.
Jennifer, you tell your daddy he can come. Well, you tell your daddy he can come up here and catch all the critters he wants.
180 degrees from average. Got into the program here a little bit later, but they are asking you where in Washington are you guys? So I'll let you just kind of repeat a little bit.
We're about an hour south of Olympia, Washington, in a little town called Rainier. It's the Rainier place in Washington.
Have you ever grown Brussels sprouts? That's what BC Truck is asking.
Every year.
My Brussels sprouts this year all bolted on me. I had probably 45 of them, and I planted them out, and then it turned to 90 degrees for like 3 weeks, and they all bolted on me.
There's some that are still coming back, though, finally, now that the weather cooled.
Well, and he also wants to know if they're hard to grow. If the Brussels sprouts are hard to grow or not.
You got to get them in early out here.
And then they're usually the last thing to harvest.
Yeah, we had some about 3 years ago, and yeah, they were the last thing we harvested. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Baby cabbages. That's how I always used to get my kids to eat them.
108 degrees from average says that his aunt lives in Olympia.
Nice.
So, there we go. Hello, this is Daryl. Who's calling, please?
Hey, Daryl. How are you doing? This is Ethan from 180 from Average.
Hi, Ethan. How are you?
Good.
I'm sure that our guests can hear you. Let me just check with them.
Sure.
Can you folks hear him okay?
Yeah.
So far, so good.
All right.
Yeah, we met Ethan in Hannibal, Missouri at Doug and Stacy's Life Conference. Ethan and his son.
Yeah, that was a great time. It was really fun meeting y'all.
Yeah,
for sure.
It was.
So a question I have for you is, are you in a rainforest there? I'm curious. South of Olympia, is that a rainforest, or is it dry, or what's the climate like?
It's not rainforest here. It's just fir trees. But where we go get the seafood, that is on the edge of the rainforest. So we go into the rainforest when we go up there. It's about 2 hours north of us.
Charlie's family cabin is right on the edge of the forest.
Cool.
Yeah.
Great. Well, that's really all I had for you. But I appreciate the answer. I was curious because I don't know a lot about the area, but I know a little bit.
The Olympic National Forest. There's a lot of mushrooming up there, and just a big, huge wilderness area.
Yeah, absolutely. So out there, do you have what kind of mushrooms? Do you have like morels and oysters and chicken of the woods and that kind of thing, or?
Yeah, and chanterelles mainly what I pick is the chanterelles because they're pretty easy to identify. I have a hard time identifying the correct kind, and I don't want to eat something that's gonna be poison or something.
Yeah, that's fair. It's tough to identify. Thankfully, we have a friend here in Minnesota who helps us out. Outside of him, I wouldn't dare to go pick them on my own. So, well, it's good talking to you. I'll let y'all go.
Really good at identifying mushrooms.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know how to do it. A friend of mine goes every week, and she had a picture. She caught one. It was like huge. Caught one. That's harvested one.
Okay. Well, looks like Ethan dropped off. But thank you for calling, Ethan. So
that's one of the things I want to do on the homestead is plant my own, grow my own mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
There's a way to do it where you can like seed your own like log. You seed them into the logs and then just let them grow.
Right.
Yeah, I want to do that.
Yeah, that's the high maintenance work.
Mm-hmm.
5 minutes worth of work, you don't have to touch it for 7 years. Just harvest.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, what do you think? You guys got any final thoughts for anybody?
Just, I wanted to thank you guys so much for having us on Monday Night Live. I've been watching every week, and I really enjoy it. And hey, I wanted to make sure you mentioned those great signs that you make because we're really looking forward to getting ours.
Did you see my last? Speaking of that, did you see my last message? I don't know if I got one back. Did you?
Probably not, because I had to put my phone down so people from work would stop. Getting me to work more today.
Okay, well, this was a few days ago. I didn't know if you just wanted the
I did. I responded.
Okay. I wasn't sure how you wanted it worded.
Yeah, we didn't need our names on there. Just the Practical Modern Homestead will be fine.
That'll work.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be all one word. It could be separate.
Okay.
Okay. What's your preference? Because I really haven't done it yet.
Well, just Practical Modern Homestead and 3 separate words would be great.
Okay.
That way we can just hang it here in our dining room.
We'll do that.
We can do
we'll
that.
do that. Absolutely.
I'll nail it to a tree.
It's cedar, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anybody in the chat? Any last questions? Final call, so to speak? I do want to mention that one quick little thing here. We have elected to get involved with Thrive Life. It's up in the corner of the screen. And if anybody would have a desire to pick any of that stuff up, if you use the link that's down below in the description area, it doesn't cost you anything extra, but it does help us out a little bit. And the way YouTube has been, we can use all the help we can get.
Yeah, that's true. It goes crazy.
Yeah. We gain 20 subs and lose 21, so it's crazy. But just want to mention that. You'll find some other links down at the bottom, as well as Amazon and all those. I'm sure you've heard this from every other channel, but doggone it, if you join us on a Monday night, feel free to use ours. We appreciate it very much. Charlie, Angela, thank you so much. You've been great sports.
Yes,
I'd love to do this again, down the road here a little bit.
Yeah.
Jennifer, I'm glad you were able to come tonight and see what we do.
She's never seen
No,
before?
I think Jennifer's been in the chats before.
Yeah,
We've
I think
done
so.
our live streams. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Mary, could you see him? I didn't know if you could see him. Because his mom and dad is here, he won't come sit on my lap. I even tried to bribe him with little banana puffs. Yeah, I thought you were.
All right.
Diana, did you get your mail? Just making sure the envelopes were received by who they're supposed to go to last week.
All right. And thanks to all those that played the trivia games. Get us your emails. And we'll see everybody later.
Have a good one.
Take care now.
Thanks, everybody.
Good night, folks.
Good night.
Night.